for rain. The guys are there with a special guest. Take it away, guys.
Yeah, a special guest indeed, MJ. Matthew Slater, who I was doing the math, 1, 2, 3, year 15. And I've had the pleasure of covering you for all 15 years. However, that guy's the guy that drafted you.
Yeah, he sure is. I'm very thankful that I had Scott to believe in me when I was coming out of school, because not a lot of people did. And man, what a blessing to be able to still be doing this all these years later. Still feel like a kid living my dream, and I'm very, very thankful for the opportunity that I have to play in my 15th year.
So Matthew, just recently we lost Bill Russell. And before you came here in 2001, Bill Russell came and talked to the team. And one of the things that he said to the team that is still something that's believed in that building, and what Bill Russell told the entire team is, you're not paid to play games, you're paid to win games. And when you walk in this building, you can feel it. It's palpable. Winning is everything. But you also see in this building how important the community is and how much giving back is. It's one of the Kraft's strong beliefs. It's one of Bill's strong beliefs. People don't know this, but Bill has his own foundation, and he does a lot of good work. Why is that balance so important, Matthew?
Yeah, that's a great question. I really feel like as athletes, we have a unique platform, and it would be a shame if we didn't utilize that platform in the right way to try to better the lives of the people in our communities, the people that we have touch points with. So, what I love here is that, as you said, we're here to win. I mean, that's our #1 job. Without that, without us doing our job, we don't have an opportunity to do any of that other stuff. But the Krafts have done such a great job of setting the example and leading from the front in terms of, hey, we're also going to be pillars in the community and use our brand in a positive way to impact the lives of the people we come in touch with.
Right, because winning gives you that platform to give back to the community. As you and I have talked about many times, to whom much is given, much, much more will be required.
Yes, absolutely.
And, I go back to another moment in 2018, Matthew. I was a part of this group that was going down to the Edmund Pettus Bridge on the anniversary, and we got a chance to walk the bridge with John Lewis, and I called you up. I called up Benjamin Watson. We joined Grady Jarrett. I was with the Falcons at the time, and Ricardo Allen and Adrian Claiborne. That was, I won't get into the details, but you and I had a couple moments there. I mean, there were some tears shed. Why was that day so impactful and so powerful to you?
Oh, wow. I mean, it's really hard to put into words why that was so impactful. It's probably one of the most impactful experiences of my life. I think about the journey of my family in this country, and it goes without saying, my parents were born in the 50s in Mississippi, and, they weren't born full citizens in this country. So I think about all the men and women that fought so hard for us to be where we are today and to have the rights and freedoms that we have today. And it's just so humbling to be there with Mr. Lewis and have that experience and hear firsthand accounts. And to walk in those footsteps
in
those
the church.
People.
We were in the church.
Just an unbelievable experience for me, and I'm so thankful that you gave me that opportunity. But it's just a reminder of how blessed I am sitting in my position. I didn't have to fight the same battles that the generations before me fought. Certainly, I have my own battles to fight now as we continue to try to make progress. But it left me feeling very grateful and just very, very humble.
There's no smooth way to segue from serious discussions to what happens on the field here. I'm just curious your temperature, how you gauge the temperature of this football team after a couple of weeks in camp, and obviously last year, a good season, but there's only one team that has a great season. I know that's the team you want to beat.
Absolutely. I mean, look, we're all trying to be the Los Angeles Rams now, and everyone in the league will tell you that. But, as far as evaluating how camp is going, we don't do that here. I think for us, it's just about focusing on the day. Each day we're presented with new challenges, and it's up to us to meet those challenges and to try to better ourselves. And our football team has taken that approach all spring and now into the summer. And look, we have to keep our heads down and just focus on getting better each and every day. We got a long ways to go, but, excited about being able to travel that road.
Matthew, always a pleasure to talk with you, and I know your coach is probably happy that it rained and lightning because it messed with your schedule, and he likes to place the tweaks on this team. Matthew Slater, Scott Pioli, Mike Giardi, back to you guys.
You say that coach is the reason for the rain? Interesting. We'll have a lot more from Patriots camp coming up. But when it comes to Mac Jones's rookie season, let's take a look at it by the numbers here, because in the rookie ranks, Mac Jones topped the list in every major metric. But check out that completion percentage right there. That's the second highest by a rookie since 1950. Only Dak Prescott was better, and that was in 2016. You know, we can't talk Patriots without bringing our resident Patriot, our three-time Super Bowl champ, Willie McGinnis. I feel like I haven't seen you in 84 years, my friend. You are in Canton, of course, ahead of the Hall of Fame enshrinement, which is this Saturday. You are joining us from Doubletree by Hilton Canton, which is owned by the Hall of Fame Village there. This Patriots team, and we heard Matthew Slater there talking about where they want to be. That's never a mistake. But you've also told us before that we don't talk about Bruno. We don't say the word Super Bowl inside the Patriots locker room.
No, absolutely not, MJ. And that's the ultimate goal. Every team wants, you know, to finish playing in February and be in the Super Bowl and ultimately win that, which they've had a lot of success in New England. So they got the blueprint. Slater has been one of the ultimate teammates, ultimate players. You talk about consistency, so he has the mindset. He's the captain. He calls the guys up after the football game, says his, you know, his speech, and he's been the glue for that team for a long time. So when you talk mindset and everything and how you want to be and what you're supposed to say and how you're supposed to work and just constantly grind, he's the perfect example of that. And that is the mantra there in New England. It's day by day. It's getting better. It's developing. And we'll see what happens at the end of the season. But nobody's talking playoffs, division, or Super Bowl at all right at this point.
Yeah, that's how it goes, always. Stay the course, do your job. We know the mantras, Willie. We've heard it, but we pay attention when you tell us that stuff, Willie, I promise. Now, David, of course, Mac Jones going into his second year here. The possibility for a sophomore slump is there. It always is. No Josh McDaniels calling the plays for him. We don't know who will be calling the plays.
We don't.
Can you just explain this to us?
I wish I could. MJ, that's the problem, Adam, is I don't know either, right? When you look at, sophomore slump, okay, maybe. I think that you make your biggest jump going into your second year, and Mac Jones is going to have to do that because where we stand right now, I'm just going to take 5 seconds of honesty right here. We don't know who's calling the plays. I don't know if the Patriots know who's calling the plays. A lot of it is going to be on Mac. Like, he has been in this system. He was with Josh McDaniels last year, so there's a lot of things that they do that are very creative, led to a lot of high numbers, a lot of good rookie output. He's going to have so much on his plate because, I'll just be honest with you, Joe Judge hasn't done it, and Matt Patricia hasn't done it. And Bill Belichick, as great as he is, one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest coach of all time, defense and head coach, he's not an offensive guy. So for me, I'm just really concerned. I'm a quarterback. That's what I do, right? I'm supposed to be concerned for the rookie. If I'm Brian Hoyer, I'm freaking out. Yeah. Someone has to help us. And if they can't figure it out, then that quarterback room has to take ownership. Because I've been in quarterback rooms where the quarterback runs the entire thing. Eli Manning in New York, he ran the offense. Yeah. There was an offensive coordinator, but it was what Eli wanted to run. And so Mac Jones, I hate to put this on you, bro, but it's year 2, but you got to do it. You got to do it. You have to take ownership of this team and say, if things aren't working right, if we're running concepts that don't make you comfortable, if your protections aren't right, you got to get on it. So a lot of it's on him. It's unfortunate, but that's the role we find ourselves in with the Patriots. So that makes me a little concerned. And that's a tall order, too, for a second-year quarterback. But, Willie, when you assess the changes that have been made here, especially without Josh McDaniels, how do you see this playing out?
Well, you know, MJ, first of all, when I pick up the depth chart and I look down and I look under offensive coordinator, it says vacant. So there are a lot of questions, and David makes a lot of points. You know, when you talk about an offensive coordinator, a young quarterback that needs to develop and get better. But I will say this. David, you've been in a lot of locker rooms, but you haven't been in this one. And it's always unique. It's always plan ahead. It's always, these guys always have a plan in place. And what I will say about this is Matt Patricia was cross-trained. Matt Patricia started on the offensive side of the ball before he came to the defensive side. So a lot of the coaches that you look at in the New England Patriots staff, they've been cross-trained on both sides of the ball. Bill Belichick has also done a lot with the offensive side, having quarterback meetings with the quarterbacks and doing a lot of different things. So I think they have a system in place. Last year, the training wheels were on with Mac Jones a lot under Josh McDaniels. They brought him along slowly. Short to intermediate throws, didn't really push the ball down the football field. They wasn't really aggressive. The run game was their mainstay. But this year, you heard Bill Belichick talk about the growth, the development he's had in his last couple of years. So I will say, that he's going to be more aggressive. They got something in place. We just don't know what it is as of yet.
I hope you're right, man. Honestly, that's like when I watch Mac Jones play, he's got all the tools. And if they just can keep that system in place, there's some nice things. And you know, you've been there. You saw the matchups they create with the running backs in space. We'll show some of that later in the show. But, I mean, they do such a good job of just scheming up offense for the guy. I hope that group of plays and that core offense is still there so we can go out there and play to the level we think he can play at.
Okay, you see the desk right here, right? I have my laptop, I have my stats.
And David, really...
Go ahead, Willie.
Real quick.
Well, I was going to say, just real quick, they're going to need more production out of those receivers and tight ends. Like, Hunter Henry was the go-to guy, but that's short to intermediate. We expect him to have a lot of production. But Kendrick Bourne, Aguilar, Devontae Parker, you know, all those receivers, they're going to have to step up, and they're going to have more production. Jonnu Smith, they're going to have more production as well.
Yeah, and it's but one of those things. You're asking a quarterback in his second year to go out and do these things that you are expecting the greatest quarterback of all time to do. Like, it's easy to be like, oh, it's the Patriots. Yeah. They're always good. When it's Tom Brady, I get that. And listen, I have a lot of respect for Mac Jones. You look, he's played for the best college program of the last decade. Yep. He plays for the best NFL team over the last 2 decades, so he's in good hands. Yep. But you know what? It's not as easy as, it's the Patriots. He's good.
Yeah, you can't just throw it out of the water. What I was saying is we have all of these layers here. Imagine how many more layers of protection, if you will, Bill Belichick has over there. There's always something going. All right, so they play next Thursday, less than a week away, when they host the Giants in Foxborough. It's at 7 p.m. right here on the NFL Network. We are your home for every preseason game. 22 live games, starting with that one. You can go to NFLnetwork.com. NFL.com/network to go ahead and see the full schedule. But before we get to that preseason game, we have the Hall of Fame enshrinement this Saturday. Incredible group as always. Richard Seymour is being enshrined into the Pro Football Hall of Fame that day as well, along with, of course, that full draft class that we saw there. Willie, let's get you back in here because you remember the night that they were all announced after NFL Honors. We had that group come here, those who are here still with us, and it was such a cool moment to see them literally moments after they were announced on the NFL Honors stage. And, you know, you're excited for Richard Seymour. That's a big one that you've had sort of circled there.
Absolutely. I call Richard my big little brother. I mean, this guy meant so much to the team. Our defense, when we drafted him, he played in the Super Bowl the first year he was drafted, and was a big part of what we did and helped shape what we was as a team and our culture and everything else. And for a guy that's so versatile, that can do so much at his position, pass rusher, stop the run games, and just how smart he was and what he was off the field. You know, our relationship, I was excited. He had been a finalist for a few years before that, and I just kept telling him, your time is going to come. Trust me, little bro, you getting in. And he helped my career. He helped me become a better player. And Tony Boselli as well. You know, I can't leave him out. Yeah. Tony Boselli, I came into college with and battled against him my entire career. And he helped shape me as a player. If I didn't have Tony, you know, going at it and beating me up sometime and me going back and forth with him in practice, I wouldn't be the guy I am, the guy I was in the league. So Tony Boselli is another guy that's special. So I got a lot of connections to these guys going into the Hall of Fame. Very special year for me.
We hear those type of stories all the time with Hall of Famers, right? That it's not just about the numbers or what they did on the field, but how they impacted other players' careers and other people's lives all at the same time. All right, Willie, we'll have more from Canton coming up a little later in the show. Right now, that game that happened there last night between the Raiders and the Jaguars, we saw starting running back Josh Jacobs, more action than I think any of us thought he would see against the Jaguars in that game. But what could that mean? We dig into Raiders-Jags after the break.
2nd and 7 on the Jaguars, 22, ball on the left hash. Sit him under center. 5-step drop. Pump fakes. Throws to his left. And he is brought down. Trayvon Walker got around the left side. The #1 overall pick in this year's draft with a sack back at the 26-yard line.
Dad, which one's your favorite?
I'm going to go with Josh.
Yes. I'm sorry, what? I was talking about the types of chicken.
Come on, you know I love all my chickens. He is a really sweet kid, though.
Did you just fist bump?
With Downy Infusions, let the scent set the mood. difference with Downy.
Oh, yeah, dude, that doesn't look good. I know